Hi there. Let's talk about marketing. Chapter 11 in our text has several sections in the text. I'm going to talk right now about sections 1 through 3. So, we'll discuss the objectives, process, and scope of marketing, identify the role of the customer in marketing, and explain each element of the marketing strategy. This chapter is really important because marketing strategy is a large portion of your new venture project. Note if you're watching this video and it's not in a class in which you have a new venture project, you can disregard that. But for many of you, I'm creating this video for our Biz 10 class, and our new venture project requires us to outline a marketing strategy. Okay, so marketing, getting value by giving value. Marketing is defined an organizational function and set of processes for creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers. We're going to be thinking about how we manage our customer relationships when we're marketing to customers. With the intention of benefiting the organization and stakeholders. And I want to ask an important question, I think. So, how is marketing different than the product itself? Um, is There are a lot of different products that we're consuming, and the marketing behind them is really powerful. So, is there really a difference between the marketing that is being done with consumers and then the actual usefulness of the product? Um, a really important concept in economics is actually this concept of utility. So, when we say utility, when talking about marketing, we're borrowing this phrase or this concept from economics. And utility is the ability of goods and services to actually satisfy customer wants. In economics, we'll actually place values on the amount of utility that we get from consuming a good or a service. Okay, so getting value by giving value. There are different types of utility associated with a product and thus associating with the marketing that we will, the message we seek to convey to consumers about our product. Form, time, place, and ownership. So, form utility means that we're satisfying wants by converting inputs into a finished form. This is the vast majority of physical products, like this sweatshirt I'm wearing, right? Like, I don't know how to make sweatshirts, and I don't have access to textiles or a sewing machine or really the time to do it. And so the form utility is I need to stay warm while I'm working. So I'm going to buy this cozy sweatshirt, and we're taking raw material inputs and forming a finished good. Um, there also is form utility in services, really. You can think about it that we're taking a bunch of raw materials and we're creating a service for people. It could be your cell service or, I guess electricity, you have utility companies, right? So electric and water, and those are sort of physical, but education, like I went to school and studied this material and I'm trying to convey it to you. I'm taking my education and my time and my laptop and other resources such as the textbook and materials, things I've studied, and I'm bringing it to you and creating the service of this course. And so that would be the form utility that I'm seeking to convey when I deliver this course to you. Time utility means that the product is satisfying your needs at a convenient time. Amazon Prime is a really good example of this. Like, I need to buy something and I need to receive it like tomorrow. How am I going to do that? Well, I have an Amazon Prime subscription, and there is a high amount of time utility associated with an Amazon Prime membership, and that they have the cheapest and no cost, lowest cost shipping, cheapest and quickest shipping for products, physical products. Place utility. The good or service satisfies your wants by being provided at a convenient place, like fast food, gas stations, Starbucks. Place utility is really crucial. Ownership utility. Ownership utility means that the good or service, satisfies wants by smoothly transferring ownership of goods and services from seller to buyer. Um, Your real estate agent will facilitate your purchase of a home. Their services are conveying ownership utility. Okay. So marketing's everywhere. There's people, place, event, idea marketing. And marketing is going to convey the different types of utility to the end user, whether it's a business or a consumer. In people marketing, we can think of this as like social media marketing, which is a huge part of how we consume goods and services. I have an Instagram account. I don't post anything on it. I share memes with people on it. But other than that, I really use it to stay up to date on different goods and services that I might want to purchase. So, influencers, entertainment artists, professional athletes, they're all able to convey the different types of utility in a good or a service to me by marketing it to me on my Instagram account. I don't know. A lot of people have TikTok accounts. I really haven't gotten into TikTok, mostly because I don't want to spend so much time on the internet. But TikTok is social media, and products and ideas are moving around TikTok every day, and they're influencing how we function in society, our choices, and then also through that, social media influencers are marketing products to you. Place. Category like place utility involves having marketing that surrounds like a geographical location. It could be more like it could be like when we're saying like Instagram or TikTok, right? But it could be this like a non-geographic or physical location. Generally, we think of this as marketing centered around like cities and shopping malls, centers, tax-free states for businesses like Delaware and New Hampshire. Event marketing is marketing or sponsorship at athletic, cultural, or charitable events. Any partnership between the public and private sector to market an event and a product. Idea. So, idea marketing involves social issues that are tied to products and services. We see this with a lot of sustainable products and initiatives that are marketed through those products. There could be a range between public and private organizations marketing their ideas, meant to change how people think or act and their purchasing decisions. Marketing has obviously evolved quite a bit over time. The Industrial Revolution didn't begin in the early 1900s in the United States and in European Western civilization. It started, far before that, but we kind of had this like production focus that came from industrial production. And then there was a selling focus, and more of a, intense marketing focus. And now we are in a relationship focus, which means that the relationship with your customers, um, it could be a really close relationship, it could be more of a loose relationship, but that relationship is really important. So not so much just pushing the product on to consumers, but thinking about the relationship that you have with your consumers and how crucial that is in how you're marketing to them and conveying the different types of utility about your product to customers, conveying and highlighting. So, in the relationship framework of marketing, obviously, our customer relationship management is crucial. Entire products like Salesforce exists just to help manage the customer relationship. Customer relationship management means the process of acquiring, maintaining, and growing profitable customer relationships by delivering value. And value means that the benefits of a product outweigh the cost from the perspective of the consumer. Otherwise, they will not purchase it. This is another concept or theory that's really borrowed from economics. So, in an economic framework, customers don't purchase a product unless they feel that the value, the benefits that they're getting from it actually outweigh the costs that they have to put in to purchase the product. So, the money that they have to separate themselves from. Okay. Companies can have limited or full partnerships with clients or customers, depending on the industry you're in. The terminology will change between, whether you refer to your customer as a customer or your customer as a client. Limited relationship will not involve as much direct interaction or a close personal bond. But in both relationships, the customer's data is extremely important. So Salesforce, for example, is a tool. And I think I mentioned it earlier in the course, but Salesforce is a tool where you can keep all of your customer information and you can sort of organize your customers in a logical way. You can store information about them. You can store interactions with them. And then also there are a lot of other tools today, different databases, and then software to kind of look at information about your customers. Obviously, the amount of data that's being collected is really at a point in time where we're actually challenged to figure out how to use that data because we have so much data. So it's sort of a good thing and a bad thing. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about customer data in the marketing framework, but just know that customer data is really important. There are tons of companies out there where the company spends all of its time just analyzing customer data on websites, right? On retail websites. So, yep, very important in analyzing the customer relationship, the data that we gather from our customers. Marketing is going to involve not just thinking about the actual value of a product, but how to convey that value, and that's the perceived value. Customers need to believe that your product is uniquely qualified to meet their needs. Customer satisfaction is how we measure that perception is positive. It's really important in customer satisfaction to not be over or under promising. You sort of want to meet the expectations of your customers. So if they're expecting to go into your lovely bakery, like you're setting an expectation, like for example, there is a very popular donut shop that has opened up at Redwood Acres a while ago, right? But like the expectation is that if I don't get there early, they're not going to have anything, and that's fine. I know that. They post that on their Instagram, and I'm completely aware of that. Now, if I went into Dunkin' Donuts in Central Florida, like the expectation is that they pretty much have donuts all day long. They have like some variety of them, and they don't run out. So if I went into the Dunkin' Donuts in Central Florida and they didn't have any donuts, I would be satisfied because that's not the expectation. So it's really important to convey how your business functions, how customers can interact with you, and that's done in marketing. And then the perception is that expectation is, when that expectation is met, that there's going to be customer satisfaction. And customers tend to be loyal when they buy the same product from the same supplier again and again. They may even be so loyal, and we measure this in economics too with another economic concept, but they would pay more for your product, some other competitor's product, because in marketing you're able to convey that perceived value. Very crucial for customer loyalty. All right, so the last section we're going to take a look at is marketing strategy. Where are you going and how will you get there? Okay, a marketing plan, which we're not going to create in our new venture project. We're just going to outline our marketing strategy. But a marketing plan is a formal document that defines all of your marketing objectives and the specific strategies for achieving those objectives. Objectives tend to be quantified, maybe not like at the small business level. I'm not sure. You may not have a way of quantifying them or an interest in quantifying them, but certainly larger companies are taking a look at very specific values and their targets for those values every year. They might have values about that they're measuring, such as like how are they measuring client retention, revenue growth, how are they measuring their cross-selling activity, which means if a customer is purchasing a particular product and you have other products, are you able to sell them those other products too? Often based on loyalty to the business. And then those specific metrics are going to be part of your marketing plan. Marketing segmentation, which we need to think about in our new venture project, means that we're dividing potential customers into groups. This is always like not a great like topic, right? Because like we're looking at demographics and then we're generalizing, but at the end of the day, we kind of need to think about, okay, well, like I am a like middle-aged lady in my 40s, and maybe I like to buy workout athleisure gear, right? So like a website that sells those products is going to segment their market, and they're going to want to capture people of all different age ranges. They're going to want to capture people that identify with different genders than I do, which is like I'm a middle-aged woman. So they'll say, okay, well, like, what does she want? And then what does someone else want? Maybe someone that is similar to me, but younger. So me, like 10 or 15 years ago, and then like me 20 years from now, right? So just age is a way to segment the market, and kind of just at a very, like, it's not granular, but like at a very sort of like basic level, we can think about like how my preferences for athleisure will change over time. Um, this is a really helpful little infographic. So it basically says like we want to like build out a target market, and we're going to have different strategies. So product and pricing and distribution and promotion. And again, these are topics that are covered very in depth in the new venture project. So this is a very helpful chapter for everyone. And they are influenced by outside forces. So the competitive environment, like in athleisure, like if I'm Lululemon, who are my competitors? I know of some, but I'll let you fill in the blanks there. Economic, like right now, the economy is not doing great. Like labor reports show the economy is doing fine, but like we have some banks failing this week. So do I need to be more price sensitive when I'm creating and marketing? How does this impact my product and pricing strategy? Maybe the political legal environment. Some retail products are just not going to really be affected too much by the political or legal environment, but they may be influenced by the social or cultural environment, right? Like we've even seen in athleisure, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, you really didn't see like the full array of people trying on different stretchy pants on an athleisure website, like Lululemon, for example, right? You would just see sort of like a typical like 25-year-old Caucasian model, right? And they look a certain way, their body type is a certain way. And our social cultural environment said, this isn't really representative. And actually, right, let's put people, like all different kinds of people with different physical features and different genders in these stretchy pants, and that actually increases probably the click-through rate to purchase and put that item in your cart, because you can actually see what it looks like on someone that looks like you, right? I am not 5'11" and 25 years old, so stretchy pants look very different on me than someone who has those physical characteristics, right? So social cultural influences in society are going to change like our product strategy, our promotion strategy, distribution, or pricing strategy. Same with technological. Okay, So when we take a look at the target market, um, we may have to like decide, okay, who are like what are the characteristics of a group of people that are most likely to buy a particular product. The characteristics of a well-chosen target market would consider things like, okay, what's the size of our market? um, Given this target market, is my product going to be profitable? Am I able to access my target market through appropriate channels? And is there a lot of competition? Or is the market really crowded? Okay. Concerning our general market strategy, when I gave my example of athleisure and stretchy pants, um, that's a customer market. So customer marketers market towards people buying products for personal consumption versus business marketers who are business to business. That's a business to business transaction. And it might not seem like, as a retail customer in a B2C world, right? Like as an individual, but there's much going on in the B2B world, but there certainly is. And it just looks a little bit different. I think you can also assume that like the customer in a business to business transaction might have more information or expertise on the topic when they're buying something, and that can really vary, right? Say you're somebody that does like parts acquisition for Boeing Airlines. That's a job. Um, your your level of knowledge about the product you're buying, like what its function is, like how much it should cost, like the history of the product, that might be a little deeper than like my knowledge of stretchy pants, right? Like I don't really know like where they're manufactured or how they're manufactured or what the material is. Like I just need some clothes. So kind of a different marketing, to different groups, right? Customers versus businesses, a little different. Okay, so when we're segmenting our customers, we can use demographic segmentation, geographic, psychographic, or behavioral. Demographic, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, like age, income, ethnicity, and gender as a starting point. Geographic, you'll be thinking about where customers live. Psychographic, you'll be thinking about their attitudes, interests, and values. Behavioral, you'll, as a marketer, be dividing the market based on how customers use your product. Okay. I'm going to put some examples in here for you. Um, in business to business marketing, we might see this a little bit differently, right? So, like, geographic segmentation might mean, okay, well, how do I think about my customers who might be tech companies in Silicon Valley versus auto manufacturers in Michigan? Like, I use a tool at my job called Workday, and Workday is for keeping track of things like your vacation time. And that tool might be set up differently and have different functions. Maybe it even has a different user interface for different kinds of companies. And they might be located in different places. Um, Customer based, thinking about different customer characteristics. So this could be like a vast array of characteristics, like the size of the institution that you're selling something to, the type of institution. Is it a nonprofit? Is it a government organization? Is it a private enterprise, right? Say you're a company that has relationships with all three types. There might be quite a different way of marketing to these different groups. And product use, so thinking about how you're marketing to customers who use your product differently, whether they're businesses or not. Okay. And the marketing mix, kind of as we described above. So the marketing mix incorporates our marketing strategy for how we convey value regarding product, price, distribution, and promotion. Product value is conveyed through the things like the brand name, the product image, package design, customer service, any guarantees or warranties, etc. Designing the best product clearly begins with understanding the needs of your target market. Price marketing is how you're conveying a fair value about the benefits of your product. Distribution marketing, how you're conveying value to get your product to the right people in the right quantities at the right time and in the right place. Um, Key decisions regarding distribution could involve shipping, warehousing, selling outlets. Are you using web only sales, which a lot of stores have shifted to, versus brick and mortar stores? And then promotion in your marketing mix is how are you advertising to customers? Are you doing any personal selling? Are there sales promotions? That's a big part of marketing. I get a lot of emails with sales promotions, and I'm particularly prone to them, right? What's your public relations look like? Word of mouth promotion, social media influencers, people marketing, and product placement. So I have a section of the New Venture Project that requires you to do what's called an environmental scan. So you'll go in and you'll take a look at the competitive landscape and the economic landscape and the social or cultural landscape. And so the scan is really looking at these outer rings, so social, competitive, economic, political, and legal, and thinking about how to effectively market your product due to these sort of like outside forces that you may or may not have control of. Obviously, a lot of companies are lobbying the political organizations to make regulations that benefit themselves, but many of us just really are not going to get there, right? Yeah, how are you influenced by sort of this outer ring? That's our environmental scan, and then technological and legal. Okay, I'll catch up with you later on consumer behavior, decisions. I hope you enjoyed this video.